There was a lot more in Jeffrey Epstein's $77 million mansion besides hundreds of photos of young women. According to prosecutors, the FBI found piles of cash, diamonds, and an expired foreign passport from the 1980s with Epstein's photo, but under a different name. His residence listed as Saudi Arabia. Together with at least $500 million in wealth, prosecutors told a federal judge today Epstein is an extreme flight risk, while two of his accusers testified that he is a risk to the public as well.
These were girls who were procured, transported across state lines, kept under supervision.
Courtney Wild says she was 14 when she was abused. Annie Farmer, 16, when she says she met Epstein.
There is a real danger presented, and hearing directly from a victim is the only way that anyone's really going to understand what it really means.
Federal prosecutors also alleged Epstein paid $350,000 to co-conspirators to influence them. Epstein's defense argued there was no evidence the money was a bribe. His lawyers say they will fight the sex trafficking charges and offered up conditions for bail, including house arrest. Also pointing out Epstein is not accused of committing any crimes after serving 13 months for sex-related charges in Florida over a decade ago. The judge will rule Thursday whether to grant bail.
And Stephanie, I know when this case was filed, there was an appeal for potential victims to come forward. Have they heard from any?
They have, Lester. Here in New York, they've heard from several. Also in New Mexico, they've heard from several. Jeffrey Epstein owns a sprawling ranch there. Their names will be forwarded to federal prosecutors who say their case is growing stronger by the day.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.